What it do? What it do? This is Jalen Prince, and welcome to another episode of Two Dudes with SportsNews.com. Now my current co-host is not here today. Garrett Goldman, he is in Fenway Park enjoying a nice Red Sox game. I believe that's what he's doing. Or what else would you do at Fenway Park? But Garrett, miss you. Hopefully you'll be able to catch a baseball if it goes either foul or it goes for a home run. But I got one of my dogs at WVUA here who is just as much opinionated as me. Definitely more opinionated than any other person that I've met in my time in Alabama. So please re-welcome my boy Jack Bentley Lester, also known as another young JBL.
Pleasure to be here. Pleasure to be here.
Appreciate it. Hey, but as always, for those that follow the show, and again, follow with us, please. You can follow us on Twitter at Tdsn Pod. Follow us on TikTok at Tdsn_pod. And always follow us on our YouTube page. We stream on YouTube. We stream on Facebook. There's always ways to come find us. So please come find us. We're going to get into it. It is draft week. It is draft week. It is draft week. And we've been
Yep.
counting it down. Now, if you've been paying attention, last few episodes, we've been doing our own mock draft. Because Garrett is not here, we're basically going to hold off on that, and then we'll just do a whole lot more draft recap. But I got my dog here. He is a resident Patriots fan, and I understand and I already know what a lot of y'all are thinking. Your Seahawks won the Super Bowl against him. We know. We've established that. We've already honed our bet. But
We're fine.
We're good. Yeah, me and my dog, we are good. But they're still gonna be able to talk draft. Still a lot of things to get into. So let's get into it. All right, Jack. So we understand what the current NFL landscape is, especially when it comes to the draft. We basically know who the number one overall pick is going to be. But when we look at when we look at the prospect of the draft, obviously there's going to be more hype for next season. But we're not going to talk about next season's draft. We're going to talk about this season's draft. And everything that we've seen so far, what would you say would be the strengths and weaknesses of this year's draft class?
I think I'm going to start with the weaknesses because I think it's very obvious. The QB class this year, in relation to what it probably is going to be next year, down this year. You literally you probably have one guaranteed first round QB, Fernando Mendoza, the number one overall pick. And then you're like, for us, we're crossing our fingers, Tyson's isn't going to go in the first. But that's about it. Like, you got two guys at QB that may go in the first round. Like, to me, that's probably the biggest weakness. This is not a quarterback year. This is for those teams that have a couple holes, a la the Jets, you're building the other stuff. And if you're the Jets, you're tanking for Arch at this point. Like, that's about your goal for next year is you're going to hope you get Arch Man. But on the positive side of this, it's the entire defensive side of the ball. You've got multiple linebackers like Arbel Reese, Sonny Styles. You got edge rushers, Ruben Bain, David Bailey. You got Ruben Bain's teammate, Hakeem Mesidor. You got offensive tackles you got a couple of very good potential future franchise tackles in this draft. You got corners. You got Caleb Downs in this draft. He's listed at safety, but dude's playing everywhere on the field. He's never going to sit. Yeah, he's listed at safety, but that man's playing 7 different positions. Like, he'll be everywhere. For me, it's the entire defensive side of the ball in this draft is where the money's going to be made. You're going to get a franchise edge rusher. You're going to get a franchise linebacker. You're going to get a franchise corner, a franchise defensive player in Caleb Downs. So I think this year's the defense, entirely defense. Next year you get your offense. Next year you get your Jeremiah Smith, your Arch Manning. You're going to get Ryan Williams. Next year's offense. Next year's going to be your QB, your wide receiver 1. That'll be next year. This year, I think you go get your edge rusher of the future, you get your offensive line secured, and you get your secondary secured this year.
Yeah, but when we talk about these edge rushers, we was talking early. Like, we both, like you and me, we both like Bain. for a
Yeah.
multitude of reasons. We like Bain. Arvell Reese is projected as no wait, he is an edge. I think Sonny Styles is the linebacker, is the inside
Arvell's
linebacker.
a, they're both linebackers, so they're both
Okay,
listed at linebacker. Arvell played far more of an edge in college, but they kind of just moved him. Like he was kind of off ball, on ball, like kind of just floated. Um,
I
he did both.
guess I guess the strength is more, yeah, it's more defensive side, primarily cornerback. I look at the edge rushers. I look at Reese. I look at David Bailey from Texas Tech, Ruben Bain, and Akeem Mesidor from Miami, who just stuck out. Got to give some. Keldrick Falk is an interesting one to me as well. Albeit
Yeah,
he went to that other school in Alabama, but he still showed flashes, just not against us. So you gotta like look at that because who'd you go against? You went up against Caden Proctor, and he's projected to be in the first round as well. You got Zion Young, who really flashed out from Missouri. So yes, I agree. This is a defensive draft, and I think because of that, it's yeah, it's not. There's not going to be a lot to look at when it comes at the offensive side of the ball because we know Fernando Mendoza is going to the Raiders because when you think about the Raiders, you're going in the first year head coach with former Super Bowl offense coordinator and Clint Kubiak. You're getting your quarterback, and
and
he's
it also
basically got
looks like
that Tom Brady type build, that Tom Brady
it also
ilk
looks like
as far as
Mendoza's not going to have to play year one. They went and
exactly
signed
because
Kirk Cousins,
you went and got Kirk Cousins exactly. So when you
so
get a
you
guy
actually
like that,
build him
the Raiders, that's
better
like
situation.
go ahead and take them out. But it's when you get to it's when you get to the Jets, it's when you get to the Cardinals, the Titans, the Giants, the Giants. They got heck, they got two top 10 picks, 5 and 10. You got the Browns, Commanders. It's that top 10 that's going to be interesting because this is so defensive heavy. So the strength is on the defensive side
Yeah,
of the ball. The weakness is on the offensive side of the ball because it's not even just quarterbacks. The wide receiver class is not that great this year. Jordan
especially
Tyson is
comparatively to next year too.
Jordan Tyson from Arizona State is a guy that's being talked about a lot. But the problem is he got a major injury history as far as having serious season-ending injuries. Like they're legitimate.
Yeah,
It's not like has a bad knee or like a couple of hamstrings, calf issues, concussions. Well, actually, I think concussion probably
I
might
think he
count
had
on
like
the
two.
yeah, those are serious injuries. But we're talking about concussions. We're talking about like torn ACLs. We're talking about some of that major that will take you out of multiple games. That's probably going to be a knock for him. But the benefit of being in this year's draft class, we're going to see a lot of teams in the NFL in this draft starting tomorrow that are probably going to reach for a lot of offensive players because they need those offensive positions. And
Especially
based
if
on
you're
a lot of
looking
the
late
seasons,
first.
yes, and because of that, I believe again, because of that, that's why we're going to see a whole lot of teams reach on offense. And the strongest offensive position in the draft is offensive line, which I'm hoping my
Yep.
Seattle Seahawks are going to be able to take advantage of that. But that's a different story for another day. Next question I want to get to you is you're a Patriots fan. You know where your season ended. You know what you know all the rumors about like the whole AJ Brown situation, especially all the stuff
Yep.
that's been going on with your head coach. But we're not going to get into that. I'll probably invite you on to another show to be able to talk about that. But we're going to talk draft specifically. Where do your Patriots go, or what do you think? What have you heard?
So the AJ Brown deal, what I've heard on ESPN and all the sports networks from Schefter and all those guys, it is basically done. It's a June 1, post June 1 trade. Obviously, it's not going to be done tomorrow, so therefore picks are probably not going to be involved this year. If you don't know, post June 1, teams can defer dead cap money to next season. So AJ Brown's $40 million dead cap hit this year would turn into $20 million, and they'd be able to split it between this season and next season, giving them more freedom and free agency to go get some more guys. But in terms of the draft, at 31, you're not going to get the best of the best unless you trade up, which who knows? They may. I doubt it. but they may. I think the Patriots go edge here. I think it's pretty easy that we struggled with pass rush, especially against the Seahawks. We had no pressure for like half of that game. And
Look,
Kenneth
Henry.
Walker, now to be fair, Kenneth Walker's not there anymore. So if we meet him again, we're not going to see him. Thank God. Um, I think Cassius Howe.
No, no, but he's on another team that that you heavily
Yeah,
dislike.
luckily they don't have an offensive line, so I can deal with a good running back when you have no O line. That's fine with me. That's okay. I think Cassius Howe is the pick at 31, the edge rusher out of Texas A&M. Now, him or Zion Young, I think Young. We played him here at Alabama. We played him in Columbia, and he did struggle a bit against our O line, which is saying a lot considering we sucked at O line. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Our O line was trash, but I think Cassius Howe is an absolute animal, and you pair him with that Patriots defense and the way that secondary for the Patriots is secured.
Especially with
CG0
Gonzo.
got that thing on lock. Seatbelt.
Especially with Gonzo.
Um,
I think from my end, with the reigning Super Bowl champions, the Seattle Seahawks, I think there's been a lot of speculation. Look, we got 4 draft picks this year. We got 1, we got a 2, we got a 3, and we got 6. As far as rounds go, obviously it's no big secret. We're probably gonna look for running back. I wouldn't mind getting Jeremiah Love or heck even Price, the backup running back from Notre Dame. I wouldn't mind that. I wouldn't mind if we go offensive line. I wouldn't mind if we go cornerback because we do name that as well because Reek is in Philly. So my hope is that we get Avion Taylor from Clemson. Either get him. I'm not sure. I'm not too sure about like the Reese guy from from South Carolina. I've read some stuff about him. He's been solid. Doesn't a lot. He hasn't allowed a lot of touchdowns. Um, not Reese. Brandon Sice. He hasn't allowed a lot of touchdowns. I'm fond of him. I am fond of Avion Taylor, like Jamar McCoy from Tennessee. I think it was either him or Colton Hood that had that was out most of last season with
Jamon
injuries.
McCoy was out most of last year. He missed the Alabama game,
Yeah,
and he missed,
right. He
I
did
think,
miss
two
Bama.
games prior to that too, and a
Look,
game or two after the Bama game as well. He was out a big majority of the midseason for Tennessee.
I'll put it to you like this, and I'll end this quick. If we go corner, I would like a big corner because I have to look at our division because we got Puka in our division, and Mike Evans is now in the division. Now, do I believe Mike Evans is going to play full season? Not
Probably,
no,
yeah, probably
no. But Puka, he's gonna play. So I would like to get a big corner that is technically sound. Um, and I think that's Hood. I think that's McCoy.
at
Not really
32.
sure. Maybe
You're really
C,
just kind of rolling the dice.
maybe Sice. But we'll see. I trust my. This is like dog. I'm in Seahawks fans. We're such in a great position to be in because we got a GM and we got a coach that knows what the heck they're doing. So we could just enjoy the draft as an entirety and just
Yeah.
chill the heck out. I don't care what the Rams do at number 12. I don't care what the Niners do. Nobody cares what the Cardinals do. Now, if they get Ty Simpson, then that's going to be a different story. But other than that,
Different story,
nobody
but
cares.
they'd
Yeah,
have to trade back into the first. I saw oh gosh, who was it? Did a mock draft had the Cardinals trading up to 26, taking Ty. I don't hate it. He goes get Marvin Harrison Jr. Not a terrible place to be, but that team is not on the up and up.
you
They're just and they're in a insane division. Now, in a perfect
last
world, I want Ty to go to the Rams and just sit behind Stafford until he
I think
retires.
ugh,
But
I can't even say that. That's not I can't even say that. I'd rather him go. No, can't go to Kansas City. Shoot, trying to think. What's another good situation?
Detroit,
I'd rather him go to
Detroit,
Pittsburgh. I'd rather him go to Pittsburgh. That's just me personally.
Yeah,
Last point. There are 6 NFL teams in this year's NFL draft that are going to have multiple first round picks. The Giants got 5 and 10. They're the only ones that have on 2 first round picks in top 10. And I know we got to move on, so I'll make this quick. Which team that got multiple first round picks got to get it right?
the Cowboys. It's the Cowboys. And to be quite honest with you, if you're the Cowboys, you need them to work tomorrow. Like day one, you need an edge rusher, probably at 20, and it's probably Hakeem Mesidor out of Miami, and you need a corner. If you're lucky, you get Jamon McCoy at 12. But you need that defense. And if we're being real, they want Jeremiah Love. They were their best version of themselves when they were running the football 30 times a game for 150 plus yards. Dak Prescott, when he has to throw more than 30 times, is trash. He needs a running back that can take the pressure off of him a little bit, and he can then work. Like he's good when he isn't like having to do it all, but he needs a running back for that to happen.
For me,
They're not going to get Jeremiah Love because he's probably going to Tennessee, but
most likely he's going to Tennessee.
most likely. So if you're the Cowboys, you need corner at 12, probably Jermon McCoy. If you're lucky, you get Delaney out of LSU. And then you need to go get an edge rusher, day one starter at 20.
For me, I'm debating because the Jets haven't been able to get it right for years. So, like, I feel like the Jets is an easy answer because they just need to load up on talent. But in another sense, I'm probably gonna go the Giants. You got Harbaugh, who I'm not too big on. Um,
Yeah,
let's see, who's their quarterback again?
Jackson Dart.
Jackson Dart's coming into his second season. Hopefully, he kind of learned his lesson and try to take better care of himself. You got the
Hopefully he went to a baseball camp and learned to slide.
Yeah,
But
you got let's see. You got Scatterboo, the crazy
Cam's coming off
man.
an injury, so that's
Yeah.
going to be,
So I think when you got 2 first round picks and they're in the top 10, 5 and number 10,
yeah.
in a defensive heavy draft, you let go of Dexter Lawrence, you sent him to Cincinnati to be able to get number 10. So I think
And
you
you got
got
a steal getting that 10th pick for him, too, by the way.
Yeah, I think if I have to choose by position, it's not much on the offensive side of the ball. If you want to go weapon, the only thing out there is probably Jordan Tyson if you're trying to get like maybe a big body, but it's really not heavy. Now,
Makai Lemon's not a bad pick either
like
out of
you don't,
USC.
yeah, but like they don't have an offensive system in where you can get the best out of Makai Lemon. That's
I mean,
just me.
shoot, it's Harbaugh. You could go get Kenyon Sadiq and
I
be
was
real
thinking about that.
freaky
I
with
was
it.
thinking about that too. Now, I see them probably going offensive lineman or they go somewhere on defense, probably cornerback because they don't really have a shutdown corner.
They could get Caleb Downs at 5.
They could, but I don't think that's where they'll go. I think they'll because they're going to look in the division. Look, you got George Pickens, you got CeeDee Lamb, you got currently AJ Brown, but he's probably not going to be there long. But you still got Devontae Smith, Jahad Dotson, and
Yeah,
Hollywood Brown in Philly. And then on the other, and then like with Washington, you still got Debo and it's scary, and I think Scary Terry is still there. I
yeah,
think, unless they released him. But either way,
I'm
you're
pretty
in a
sure.
wide receiver heavy division. You got to get like pieces to be able to counter that, or fight fire with fire and try to get your own receivers. But that's
Or
neither
say,
here
or
nor
just score a lot of points and hope you win a firefight
there. Hey,
at some
but
point.
either way, it's gonna be. I think this draft is probably gonna be underrated as far as career wise. I think there's gonna be a lot of guys out there that's
Yeah.
gonna have a long, lengthy career. Wish them nothing but the best. But dog, we gotta like it. But the other thing about it, yeah, the draft is tomorrow, tonight, and tomorrow, and the next day, and the next day, and the next day. It's NBA playoff time, and there's been a lot of things that's been going on in the playoffs. I mean, look, the West is like the West, not as much loaded. The East is probably more loaded than the West as far as actually getting good games. My Hawks taking down the
Yeah.
Knicks, thank God. Philly beating the crap out of the Celtics in game 2. Didn't see that coming. The
A
Magic
lot
beating
of
the
a lot
Pistons.
of weird
We
game
kind of
two
speculated.
upset.
Lot of weird game 2 upsets. Let's see. Cleveland beating Toronto. I think Toronto's probably gonna tie it up, and I think there's gonna be a 7 game series still with Cleveland and Toronto because Toronto they're gonna take care of business at home. I think because James Harden's playing good now, but we
Yes, it
know
was his playoff
in
James
the
Harden. He
playoff.
could poop the
Now
bed very quickly.
Donovan Mitchell has a really good playoff track record. So he could probably carry the load as far as on that. But I think Cleveland
Yeah,
I think all in all Cleveland's gonna win that series. Um you could tell like even in the first 2 games, you could tell like Toronto just hasn't been there in a while. But look, we know the fan base in Toronto. They're gonna
yeah, they're gonna be
that
loud. They're
that
gonna be
place
loud.
is gonna be loud. But overall, what's been as far as the Eastern Conference playoffs, what's been like some of your biggest surprises or takeaways?
Uh, Watching Boston get manhandled was very awkward to watch at home, and they scored they scored 97 points. That's more concerning to me than them just losing. If it's a like if it was closer, they got blown out by 14. Like they got manhandled, and you let rookie VJ Edgecombe give you a 30 and 10, shooting 60% from three.
Yep.
That like, yo, you won a title 2 years ago, guys. You can't do that if you're Boston. You should not be getting manhandled by a rookie. Like that's just not with no Joel Embiid, by the way. So that was I, I didn't like that.
You shouldn't. But
Now
yeah,
Derek White only giving you 8, and the bench giving you a total of 11 of 20 points off the bench. That's not going to cut it if you're Boston. For a
look,
team that relied
yeah,
on sixth and seventh guys shooting 60% from three to win a title, you getting 20 points off the bench is not going to do you very good, especially when Peyton Pritchard's going over 4 from deep. That's just not going to do it. Like that will not work. Um, I like big for the Hawks to get a road win. I mean, the saying is right. The playoffs don't start till the road team gets a game.
yep,
That's a huge pickup for them in a series where when people like you see that matchup come out and you go, that's weird because this Hawks team trades away Trey Young,
and
makes the
got better.
playoffs, and you're looking at them going, are the Knicks going to pull a Knicks again
Pretty
and
much, yeah.
just
I'm hoping.
lose in
I'm hoping.
lose a series they shouldn't have lost?
I'm hoping. Look, me personally, like you already know, I'm a designated Hawks fan. Um, I don't. I hate the Knicks. Like I enjoy beating them, point blank. Period. I'm never shy away from it, and I'm hoping that we get it done. But that's not my biggest takeaway because, like, I guess maybe it should because I had some doubts after game 1 because I'm looking at like, yo, if they play that double big lineup with Cat and Mitchell Robinson, like we don't have nothing to answer for that because we had to go against a bum in Orlando that wanted to do a cheap shot with one of our backup centers, and now he's not available in this first round, and he know who he is. And so, but outside of that, my biggest takeaway in the Eastern Conference, um, it's Orlando and Detroit mainly because
I
like
was waiting to get to that because that's live right now.
we had speculations about Detroit. Like they got the number 1 seed. They faced the Magic. I was hoping the Hornets was gonna do it, but like we saw them get the crap beat out of them
Yeah,
against Orlando. So credit to Orlando. Paolo, he was gonna get his. But the thing that was intriguing about after game 1 and currently right now in game 2, because I'm checking the stats right now. Detroit's beating the crap out of the Orlando, so they might take
they are up
and
20
yeah,
right
they're up
now.
big.
6 minutes
They're
in the
handling
third
yeah,
to go.
they're handling their business now. But the thing that was intriguing about that matchup is Orlando has had problems with within their locker room for the last few weeks of the regular season. Like even to the point where it was like conversations or talks about them quitting on their coach. And you never want to hear that whatsoever. But that
Not
was
going into the
circulating.
playoffs either.
They not unlike the things. They can't shoot, even though they've had some good shooting games within the playoffs and play in. They still haven't been able to shoot, but Paolo's able to get his own. But the fact that they went up into Detroit in game one to handle their business and got that dub, you had to look. I looked at both Orlando on that side, but I'm gonna let you touch more on Detroit because dog, we always had some doubts with Detroit, like going into this playoffs anyway.
I mean, no, luckily they talked about it in the halftime show. Uh, Detroit's offense quite literally is just Cade score 60, please, and let's just hope we can win. And now, in all fairness, he's got 26-8 right now. He isn't doing everything. Tobias Harris is he is 12-7. He's shooting 67% from the field. But I mean, this Detroit team can't shoot a 3-pointer to save their life. Now, to be fair, neither of these teams can. This is
Not it's
just
not a good shooting team.
bully ball right now in this game. And I mean, Detroit shooting 28% from three, Orlando shooting 24%. These teams are going to get cooked by a Boston that's going to shoot randomly 66% from three on a night or something, and you lose by 30 if you're one of these teams. And Detroit, and now we talked about this prior to the pod. I expected more out of Jalen Duren. Maybe it was dumb of me to do so, but I thought he was going to be able to give them more down low in terms of a bit more of a paint presence so that Cade had room to work.
I mean, right now he's giving you 10, and
I mean, right now he's giving you 11-6 and 4. So like he is doing, and look at, I mean, they're up 24.
yep,
So now is that just Orlando sucking? Possibly. Um,
probably.
but like the other thing was in that first half was really close. And part of that is because Asar Thompson is also not doing his job.
Yep.
And he had 3 fouls prior to half. You cannot, if you are Asar Thompson, get in foul trouble early. That you cannot be the one to start fouling out. It can be Robinson. It can be literally anybody else. It can be Isaiah Stewart, for God's sake. Have him go punch somebody, something. I don't know. But if you're Asar Thompson, you have to be the other guy to score some points for Cade. It's like someone else has to help him if you want to get anywhere in these playoffs. Because if it's just Cade and none of you in that starting lineup can help him score some points, you're getting smoked
Look,
by a New York, an Atlanta, a Boston, a Philly. That Philly team will dog walk the Pistons if they cannot figure out someone else to score the ball.
either way. I don't think Detroit's beating Cleveland. Like, because I think
Oh,
Cleveland's going to
yeah,
win that series
no.
against the Raptors, and that's who they would face. I think Detroit finds a way to get past the Magic, but I don't think they get past Cleveland because if Cade
Yeah.
has to do everything, Cleveland has like Donovan Mitchell and James Harden. Now, say whatever you want about James Harden,
Playoff James
and
Harden
I
aside.
get the track record. Nobody believes we know, but he can still get you buckets. And right now
Yeah.
they're still they're still more deep.
Especially when
And
he's not
Cleveland
number
can
one.
shoot.
What I think we've
Yes,
realized, by
they
the way,
can
about
shoot.
James Harden is if he's not number one, he kind of flying. Like
Yeah,
he's the number
he
two
can.
option on that Cleveland team because Donovan Mitchell's doing most of the ball handling and he's shooting most of the shots.
Yeah.
James Harden looks free.
Anyway,
He
we
looks like
continuing.
he's
Anyway,
enjoying
we're
it.
continuing on to the NBA playoffs talks. Right now, we just finished with the Eastern Conference. We're gonna move over to the West side of things. Uh, now, like, is there really much we need to say about OKC? I mean,
No,
outside
they're
of
they're
Shea getting
they're.
Clutch Player of the Year,
I don't like that. Kill me. I don't think he was clutch player of the. I don't think he could be clutch player of the year when you sit out most of your fourth quarters and everyone brags about you sitting out most of your fourth quarters. In theory, you need to play the fourth quarter to be clutch, right? Your whole thing is you are the most dominant team in the
I
league, blowing people out by 30 every game, and you sit out most of the fourth quarter. How are you clutch? What are you clutching?
Nuggets Next, there was a lot of there was a lot of game winners on the side. So like I ain't got no
I would have
argument
picked Anthony
with that.
Edwards personally. I
Now
would
he
have said
missed more
Anthony
games than
Edwards.
Shay did.
Now, to be fair,
It
Anthony
took a
Edwards
court
was hurt.
dog. It took a court order for Ant to be able to get his postseason awards. But we're
Fair
not gonna
enough.
get into that. Dog, is San Antonio in trouble? Because you got to
No.
give Portland credit.
So
You got to give
yes.
Portland credit.
Now, Danny Avdia is playing out of his mind. Um,
He hooping.
I
He's
think,
hooping.
to be fair, the Spurs should have won that game even without Wemby. Like, they were up double digits through halfway through the fourth, and then Portland just came roaring back.
They don't fight. No, like they dude,
And
Drew Holiday's on that team. And
yeah,
like
well,
if
yeah,
you know anything about ball, when it's playoff time, Drew Holiday gonna show up. He got two
he's a
rings.
he's locked down. He's locked down.
Like he
Um,
come on now. Like you better get respected like Drew Holiday, especially when it comes to playoff
look,
time.
I think I think Wemby probably comes back game four. He's probably going to miss game three. He's missing game three. Not probably. He is missing game three. And I think the Spurs can win game three. I think he comes back. And if you're the Spurs, I think you need him to come back game four. Because you cannot have him sit a long period of time and go straight into a series against the Nuggets.
That's only if the Nuggets survive Minnesota.
And or Minnesota. I don't care if it's Minnesota or Denver. You have to just you need Wemby ready. And it's playoff time. It's not the regular season. He can't just come in, play 22 minutes a game for 17 games straight and get his legs under him again. He's got to get in there and play his 35 minutes and get his feet under him before he has to go play some of the most intense basketball of his life.
With the Spurs, if if Portland wins one of the games like at home and they tied up, like this is only they're in trouble if they go down 3-1. But then again,
Yes.
everybody's in trouble if they go down 3-1.
Unless your name is LeBron James. Yes.
But like if they go down 2-1, like game 3 if they lose that one, I would say San Antonio's in trouble. Here's the reason why. They do not have that playoff background where said, oh, they can come back from 2-1 deficit and win. We haven't seen that yet. Do they have the capability and the
No.
talent? Yes, we understand that. They got good coaching.
You don't have the
They got
experience, though.
they
You've never
have
been here
they
before.
have a generational talent, even though he's hurt right now. But like Lord's will, he comes back healthy. They have a generational talent. They have a tremendous point guard play. They got Stephon Castle. You got other moving pieces around, and you got two guys that have been in the playoffs. One of them has won a championship, and Harrison Barnes. So you got that experience on there to be able to help you out. But because we haven't seen it as a unit, we don't know yet. So if they go down 2-1, I say they're slightly in trouble. But it also
Yeah.
depends on how if they lose game 3. That's only how. They get blown out, they're in trouble.
Yeah.
But
If
if
it's
it's
another
close,
3 point game,
yeah. If they lose close, I'm saying yeah, it's Spurs. It's
they'll be
Spurs.
fine.
Yeah. Now, Lakers, Rockets, it's Lakers. I'm sorry. Like we talked about this earlier. The Rockets ain't got no point guard. They ain't got no field. They ain't got no court general. They don't have no floor general.
No.
Like they're like the offense is anemic, and you're trusting Kevin Durant to make every play, and he's getting hounded. Also, Ime Udoka, he's getting out coached. JJ Redick is coaching his
Yes,
butt off.
JJ
I
Redick
gotta
is
give credit on that one.
walking him like a dog in the coaching department.
And I'm like, bro. Now I'm not saying JJ is a bad coach. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not gonna knock one side or the other when I say this. But Ime Udoka, dog, I get it. You was in Boston and you got him to a championship. JJ Redick has never been a head coach. He's only what in
This is his
his
second year head
this is
coaching,
his second year of head coaching. How was he doing this to you?
and he's
Now
missing
again,
his
he
two top
JJ
scorers.
and JJ knows his ball. We understand that. We're not taking
Yeah.
away nothing away from him. He knows his ball. But at the same time, bro, he is out coaching. He's working you. Just talking ball to ball, like he is working you. And I got to get the Lakers like credit. and I don't like the Lakers. Well, mainly I don't like their fan base, but Luke Kennard's balling. Jackson Hayes is stepping up. DeAndre Ayton's
Marcus
not.
Smart.
Marcus is stepping up. DeAndre Ayton's not losing them games. So you got to give him credit. And I haven't even mentioned LeBron. It's just because I'm so used to him doing this for so long, but I think I'm more surprised the fact that he's still doing this at the age of 41. He's still doing this at the age of 41. And Luca and Austin Reeves are not back. So
Yeah,
what's going to happen if they do come back this series? I don't think you play them for the rest of the
I don't
series
think you
because
have to.
I don't think you have to.
Let him work.
I mean,
Let Braun work.
let them get to the second round. Let them get to the second round. But
Because what you're doing is you're building up the confidence of a Marcus Smart, of a Luke Kennard, of a DeAndre Ayton,
you are, yes, you are.
and you are building them up for when Luca and AR come back. Now they're confident
Like,
enough where if they're getting locked up, they're going, "Oh, I got it. We good."
give them
Luke
some
Kennard's
rest.
going, "I can drop
They,
50 points in 2 games."
give them some rest. Now, if you don't want them to be rusty, yeah, but let them play a few minutes and just handle the rest. But Houston, no, they can't shoot. They're
Oh,
no
they are
threat from.
getting,
They're
yeah, no.
threatening. They're no threat outside of Kevin Durant, and you take away him, nobody else is balling. Steven Adams ain't coming back. Alperen Sengun, where was that dude that was like putting in work against OKC in the opening night? Where's he at?
So much for baby Jokic. Like,
Yeah,
that dude
and
looks
look,
like he doesn't look like he knows how to play basketball.
look, but shoot, you want to talk about Look, Jaden McDaniels been talking. He been talking. Dog, that ain't no big secret. We know Jokic is not a great defender. We know this. That ain't no
Yeah,
secret. That is not a
that's
secret. Like
but
whatsoever.
that's not what makes you like. That's I mean, to be fair, recently, Jokic has been seemingly putting in more effort.
Like
Not
that's
saying
literally what
he's
it is. And
playing
when it
great
comes to
defense.
defense, you just got to put in effort. You just got to
I mean,
care.
Luca did
You got
it.
to give a crap.
Like defense is 90% effort.
Yep.
That's it. So that's the Luca and
But
Jokic thing.
but game two, Ant
He
shoot, I
he
thought Ant was gonna be hurt again, but I'm if the Nuggets don't tighten up and Jamal Murray can't go cold again.
so now you
The
go into
guys
game
got to be able to
three.
step up. They gotta win. They gotta win game 3 or 4. I mean, if they go look, I believe that the Nuggets, even if they lose game 3, they find a way to win game 4. They'll be fine because we seen it before, and we know Jokic's gonna get his. You're not gonna stop him. But dog,
He's
you
giving
make
you
Rudy go
37, 15, and 12. Like,
and he's been killing Rudy Gobert for the rest of for all of his life, all of his career.
don't get me started
But
on
the
Rudy
fact,
Gobert.
look, he had look. I give Rudy credit. He had his best game against him yesterday. Last
Yeah.
night. He had his best game against him. But outside of that, look, that can't happen again. And I think Yoke knows that. But shoot, we gonna game 3 is gonna be. It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting.
I mean, the Western Conference Finals is you can just write in OKC and one of the Nuggets or the Spurs.
Yep. But there is one more quick thing I want to talk about before we get into our last segment of the show. Overall, we've been having a good time. Shoot, hard to believe it's almost over. But there's definitely something I really want to get into, and this means a lot to me personally. This was reported back in October, early on in the season, that the Larry O'Brien Trophy is going to come back to being at the middle of the court for the NBA Finals. Now, that might not mean a lot to a lot of people, but to those that have followed, yes, the nostalgia of the NBA, those that still love the presentation of the NBA, especially the NBA Finals, whether we see both the Larry O'Brien, just the spectacle of the NBA Finals, to have that come back means a lot to me. And I've already seen the interview that was on Pardon My Take. I forgot who the interviewer was, but Adam Silver said that they are that it's going to be painted. They've already got it checked and they got it approved by the players, so that's coming back. So the feel of the NBA Finals is actually going to feel like the NBA Finals, and that's all we wanted. Because last year it felt like a here, dang. Because I ain't gonna cuss on here.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna cuss. Like it felt like because dog, I know you saw it. We saw the Larry O'Brien Trophy in that small little corner, and then we'll see an ad for Paycom.
Yeah.
But I
Half
mean,
of it, by the way, was LED'd off the roof anyway. So,
yes. But the fact that we're gonna have the Larry O'Brien Trophy back on center court, it's gonna feel for the first time in a long time as actually gonna feel like the NBA Finals,
and by the way, if it's Spurs Celtics, you're going to be pulling in some old heads from the early
bro.
2000s who haven't watched the NBA Finals in a while going, this is some basketball again, dude.
Like, and the promos are gonna be insane. But look, to be able to keep this up, ESPN still got to show the starting lineups because they brought the starting
Yes.
lineups back last year. They better bring them
Yes.
back this year.
The intro is like the best. That's one of the best parts.
Dog, because like I remember growing up, like dog, I used to hate the Miami Heat when LeBron was there because everybody was talking about him in school. But like when they was in the finals, whether it was the Spurs or the Thunder, bruh, like every time you hear like Seven Nation Army, and then the promo videos, and then they had the boy, and like all the fan base had all the white shirts on. Man,
I
that
still get
stuff,
nightmare from Oracle, though.
bro.
I still get nightmares of trying to. I'm a Braun guy.
I know,
I'm a early 2000s kid. Like I grew up literally. I am as old as LeBron has played years in the NBA.
I know.
So I'm
I
a,
still
I'm a
remember when
Braun
he was
guy.
first at Cleveland. I still remember
But
watching that. I'm that old.
trying to, you know, feel confident in LeBron James or any team beating that Golden State team in Oracle, no, just it's not happening because you
Especially
hit
when
two threes and then the place is going bananas,
they hit that
and then
chant.
all of a sudden they're up
They hit that
35.
chant. They hit that chant.
They hit the dude. The chant comes and then they're up 40,
Yep.
and you're just going win. Hello,
Like what just
and
happened?
it's over like that, and you
Like
don't know what
that,
happened.
dog. And what made it worse? It was worse when Kevin Durant was there. That was a dark time. That was such a dark time. If you wasn't a Warriors fan, that was a dark time. Because I'm
Yeah,
like, you wasn't
no,
beating that. Like LeBron was not
you're
going to
not
beat
touching them.
that at all.
You
But anyway,
so
we got closer to the end of our show. Now we're going to get into our new segment. And yes, we're doing it like this. We're getting into our very first, our click debate. Yes, and for what we're about to do, me and Garrett, me and Garrett, we're gonna ask random questions that are like either barbershop style, this, that, whatever, yada yada yada. We're gonna do this. Yes, this is gonna be for clicks. This is gonna be for views. This is gonna be for raise bait. This is gonna be for engagement farming. Whatever adjective that you want to be able to throw out, this is for that. We're not gonna hide from it. We just want to be able to get the clicks on like clicks and the views and still be able to have a solid debate on this one. Now, unfortunately, Garrett's not here for the first one. My dog Jack is, and he's looking forward to the question in which we got today. But we're about to get rolling, so we can go ahead and get y'all to bed. So, our first click debate question: which quarterback in the NFL will have the most pressure going into the 2026 season? I'm gonna let my guest go first.
I have two obvious answers. Everyone's going to say the exact same things. It's not a very hot answer. It's Josh Allen. It's Lamar Jackson. I'm going to put it more on Lamar Jackson. That sounds very dumb to some people. However, Ravens fans, chill out for half a second. Yes, you lost your head coach. Both of these quarterbacks have lost their head coach. They are on new head coaches. But I'm looking at Lamar Jackson and that Ravens team, and I'm thinking, well, you should have done it 3 years ago. You need to figure it out. And you can't start the season like trash again because you've done it the past 2 years. You kind of start terrible. Your defense sucks for 2 months, and then they figure it out. And now this is not just Lamar. Yes, his defense was quite literally 32nd in the league for like 6 weeks. So it's not all on him. But I may be jumping the gun here. The Chiefs are not going to be fantastic for another year. They're probably not going to be anything but a wild card team, especially because their divisions guaranteed two teams are going to be going to the playoffs in the Chargers and the Broncos, pretty much. So they're looking at like third place in their division because the Raiders aren't doing anything. So if you're Josh Allen, I'll get to Josh Allen, Ravens fans. Now you need to perform. Now I also understand he has no wide receiver one. He's standing over there going, "Who the heck do I throw the ball to?" And now he's going to have to deal with Drake May and AJ Brown twice. He still has freebie of Miami and the Jets, but Patriots do too. So chalk those up to being even. But you're looking at Josh Allen, you're looking at Lamar Jackson, two guys who very much need to either make it. No, they need to make the Super Bowl. Now, both of them can't. But you got it. That needs to be the AFC Championship game. Ravens, Bills. Period.
This answer was so easy for me because I was easily gonna go Justin Herbert. It was so easy. It's right there, Mister If I had this, if I had that, the easiest answer is Justin Herbert. You got Mike McDaniels is your offensive coordinator. I can easily choose Justin Herbert. You've had numerous weapons compared to Josh Allen with Keenan Allen, Mike Williams. Obviously, he had some injury parts, unlike injury issues, but like when he was playing, he was balling. You had Jared Cook. You had Gerald Everett. You had Hunter Henry. You had a bunch of tight ends. You had a run game with Austin Eckler and the crew. Um, so you had a decent offensive line. I mean, last year was the first one you didn't because both your tackles were torn on had season-ending
When
injury.
they're fully healthy,
But
that is one of the best O lines in the NFL.
and you still couldn't get it, and you still couldn't get it done. I mean, let's see, you blew a 20. Let's see, you lost on Trevor Lawrence, and you blew a big lead against him in the playoffs. You got your butt kicked by Houston twice.
Yeah.
Um, I can easily go Justin Herbert. I really can.
Funny thing is,
And the right answer is kind of him.
yeah,
But I'm not gonna do it.
the easy answer is, by the way, none of the quarterbacks in the NFC.
Yep. But the easiest answer
Like,
with the most pressure, I can easily go Justin Herbert, and that is the right answer. But I'm going CJ Stroud. Here's the reason why. You're in the AFC South. Your opponents in the AFC South is Cam Ward and the Titans, who got a top four pick. The Jacksonville Jaguars, who are going to be playing in another stadium because they're going through renovations. Travis Hunter, who's trying to figure out whether he's a cornerback or a wide receiver. Too many rumors about BTJ, and Trevor Lawrence is going into what is this his seventh or eighth season. He's
something
been in the
like
league.
that.
He's been in the league for a while. And you have the I didn't even look. I didn't even mention the Colts. Daniel Jones is coming back from an injury, and you have the third, possibly the second best defense in football, with your the best offensive player, best player on the team getting a contract extension. And you still got another edge rusher on the opposite side. Your head coach is one of the best defensive minds in football, and you got one of the best secondaries in football that has held it down. And the only reason why you couldn't go in the playoffs was because of you. You turned the ball over. Your defense did its job. Got your
I,
stops.
I'm I'm going to credit the Patriots defense as
Yes, and
well.
I give the Patriots credit on that one. But you still did. But dog, Nico wasn't hurt. He's still balling. He's still one of the top wide receivers in football. Tank Dell's coming back. You're most likely gonna get some more weapons in this year's draft. Your running game wasn't great. We understand that. Your offensive line hasn't been great. We understand that. But your play cannot diminish. So the pressure is on you. What do I mean by pressure? This is what pressure means to me. You can make the playoffs, but you got to get a game. You got to go deep.
Yeah.
You cannot miss the playoffs because that defense is. By
Oh,
the way, is
not in
that a
that division
dog sleeping?
either.
Is that a dog sleeping?
Yeah, that's my dog snoring. That's
Okay,
my
thank
60
y'all.
pound pit bull snoring like an old man.
I respect that. But back with CJ. But back with CJ. Yo, you can't miss one. You cannot miss the playoffs. You are
In the
the.
A,
You
definitely not in that
cannot
division. Not in
miss
that
the
division.
playoffs. CJ's got to make the playoffs and he's got to go deep. Heck, it'll help him win the division. But if he don't win that division, because we know that Houston defense is going to step up, we know it's going to be elite. That's why I'm putting pressure on CJ. He got to get it done.
Yeah.
So again, the correct answer is Justin Herbert again. But on another end, I got to look at CJ.
I mean, there's four quarterbacks in the AFC. You're looking at, you're going, somehow all of you have to make the Super Bowl or an AFC title game.
Yep. I'm not talking about winning I'm not even talking about winning the Super Bowl. That pressure
Two of them
only
I am.
that only resides to two guys. Maybe three if you
Two
want
of
to
them.
count Joe Burrow.
And well, to be fair, Burrow has a bit of the Lamar thing.
Yep.
However, his defense is 32nd for like the entirety of the season.
Look, to me,
Like they suck
Joe Burrow is
the
what he
whole
is.
time.
Matthew Stafford, he is what he is. He already got his. Like they ain't no pressure with Matt Stafford.
Yeah.
Brock Purdy, if you want to put pressure on him, I mean you can. The Niners haven't won a Super
I'm
Bowl in
not.
about 30-something years. I mean, I get to live with this Super Bowl for the rest of my life because we had, bro, that Super Bowl was the greatest get back and the greatest run in Super Bowl history. I'm sorry to beat all your ops and the one that has traumatized you for about 11 seasons, 11 years to get. I can die happy. Not literally. I'm not wishing death, but I could sleep with peace. But like again, like if you want to put pressure on them, you can. Look again. The correct answer to that question is Justin Herbert. But my answer, CJ Stroud. Got to get it. All right,
Yeah.
time to end our show. Guys, thank y'all so much. Usually Garrett will handle the shout outs. So I'll do quick brief shout outs. Shout outs to Sports After Dark. Shout out to all the other podcasts that support us. Shout out to like our future sponsors in the near future. One of them is coming up. But really big shout out to Jack for stepping in for Garrett. Jack, really appreciate you. I'll see you tomorrow. Y'all have a good night. Peace.
Peace.